This program has been made possible by the friends and partners of Marcus Gill International.
Hey friends, Marcus Gill here. Welcome to another moment of life. Listen, we're going to have a good conversation today about how to recognize your envious friends. Now, this may be a little difficult to hear and handle, but I promise it's going to be for your good. So stay tuned, get ready for a word. And remember, every day of your life is a day of victory. Let's go.
This is your moment of life with Marcus Gill. Get ready to be encouraged, uplifted, inspired, and pushed into your place of unlimited greatness. Every day of your life is a day of victory. Now, let's join Marcus Gill for an inspiring message.
Hey, listen, the truth of the matter is we appreciate good relationships. Solid relationships, I believe, make life better. No matter how young you are or how seasoned you are, having a good friend matters in life. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. As important as those are too, I think our solid friendships really help life to just be better. The journey of life is much greater. You've got somebody to celebrate with. You've got people in your life that you can trust with your darkest secrets, the pain that we face every single day. You know what? It's better to go through pain if you got a really good friend. Let's just be honest. And then more importantly, those good times in life, knowing that you've got somebody in your space that will celebrate the goodness of God with you, it makes a difference. So every single day, I take time to thank God for my friends. And let me pause just for a moment right here and tell you, you ought to thank God every day for the people in your life that you have discovered to be trustworthy. They're loving. They're not afraid to be around you. They're not afraid to celebrate you. And I will say this before I get into my points. If you've got people in your life who don't celebrate you, who don't appreciate your presence, maybe it's about time you start praying and asking God for some new friends. Because the Bible does tell us in Psalm 1, it says, "Blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly." And I think sometimes we accidentally end up in the company of the ungodly, people who are mean, people who are judgmental, people who are intentional about stabbing you. There's some people that are like that, unfortunately. There are folks that will only be in your life because of how you can benefit them. There are people that are in your life, I like to call them, light switch friends. One day they're on, they're happy to talk to you, they're excited about you and excited about your relationship. And the next day, somebody's flipped the switch because now they don't return your calls, they don't return your texts. You can't call on them for nothing. They're up and down. It depends on who they're around. That determines how they're going to treat you. And that's a whole nother story as to why people become light switch friends, predicated upon who they're around. That's a whole nother conversation we can have. But you got to thank God every day for the people who are real. Somebody texted me the other day and they said, "Marcus, I need a word. What's the word for today?" And I simply said, it's time for people to keep it real. And when you've got real friends, oh my goodness, the level of comfort you have being around people, the way you're able to relax around people, it's great. This is where we have a problem. When we discover that our quote unquote friends are envious. Now, somebody will say, well, what's the difference between jealousy and envy? I think jealousy we can kind of get along with a little better because here's my definition of jealousy. Jealousy is when you have something that somebody can no longer have because you have it. So if there was only one job position available and you get the job, somebody could be jealous that you got the job because they no longer have an opportunity to get the job because you have it. All right, you follow me? That's jealousy. Envy is when we all could have a thing, but somebody is just angry that you have it. Now, maybe there are two job positions open and you got the job and they're still waiting to find out who's going to get the other position. And somebody will see you have the job and they're envious of you, not because they can't have the same position, but they're just mad to see you with it. They're just mad to see that you bought a house. They could buy a house too, right? They could work hard and do what they need to do to buy a home, but because you have a beautiful home, they're envious. They just don't want you to have it. They could be happily married too, but because you're happily married, they're envious. They just don't want you to be happily married. And this is where we find ourselves in deep trouble. Because how is it that we can have friends and they hate to see us happy? Simply because they don't have what you have. Isn't it amazing how with over 7.5 billion people in the world, God Almighty has no limitations on how he can bless us. But for some reason, people feel as though if God blesses their brother or God blesses their sister or God blesses their friend, some way, somehow, heaven's storage place is going to run dry because God did something great for another, when God can do the same and even greater for all 7.5 billion of us. But when a person is battling with the spirit of envy, which is an evil spirit, it's from the enemy. That doesn't come from the Lord. That's not a positive spirit. It's not a positive attitude to have, to look at a friend, to look at a relative, to look at a coworker and see them progressing and doing well. And you say, oh, I could progress and do well too, but I just don't want to see you progress and do well. That's not jealousy. Envy is much deeper than jealousy. And I'm giving you this word because I want you to be able to recognize in this season of your life, because of all the great things that are happening for you. And listen, let me say this to you here, and I want you to get excited. All of the awesome things that are about to happen in your life, you need to be aware of who's close to you so that you're not connected to dream killers. You need to be connected to people who will celebrate your dream and not make an attempt to kill your dream. And envious people will make every attempt possible. They will do whatever they can to kill your dream because they want what you have. And not only do they want what you have, because they can obviously have it, they don't just want it, they don't want you to have it. And that's for a reason. So I'm going to give you 5 ways to recognize envious friends. All right. Now I want you to keep this scripture in mind. I quoted earlier, Psalm 1. All right, and 1. I want you to read that. It'll be at the bottom of the screen for you. It says, blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. So in this verse right here, God has given us instructions on how to stay blessed. And he's telling us to intentionally make it a priority to get away from people who are scornful. Get away from people who are ungodly. I'm not telling you that you got to judge folk, because if you're around people who are ungodly for the purpose of helping them get close to the Lord, getting close to people who are far from God with the purpose of bringing them close to the Lord, he's not talking about you there. He's talking about those of us who intentionally, we know how people are, we know what kind of spirit people have, and we stay around them, and they end up draining us. They end up killing our purpose, and they block us from our destiny. Those are the people that God is saying, blessed are you when you walketh. That word walketh means when you do not dwell amongst them, you'll be blessed. And listen, words like these are going to help you recognize when you're around those people who are keeping you from being blessed. And having envious friends is a good way to keep you from being blessed. So let's start with number 1. Number 1, here's a key about envious people in your life. I want you to remember this. They do not like you. That's point number 1. They do not like you. That sounds so simple. It doesn't sound like that's backed by any deep revelation, but I'm telling you now, if you hear me loud and clear, don't ever question it. You can't say that a person is in your life, they're envious of you. They don't want you to have the good things in life. They don't want you to have promotion. They don't want you to have good relationships, and they still like you. That is absolutely false. They do not like you. If you got people in your life right now and you recognize those traits, you need to just immediately wrap your mind around the fact that they do not like you. They're probably around you because they like your benefits. They like your clout. They like your presence because you benefit them some way, somehow. But they do not like you. Anybody who does not want to see you happy, anybody who does not want to see you winning in life, they don't like you. I don't care if they're a blood relative, if they're a friend, y'all been friends since middle school, high school, all right? I don't care if they're a co-worker. I don't care if they're your partner on the job, even some church members that you worship with. Anybody that you can tell does not like to see you happy, and anybody in your life that you can feel and sense that they really don't like to see you winning, they don't like you. That's the first point I want you to understand about envious people in your life. They can't stand you. It's a hard truth, but you gotta know because it's facts. All right? They don't like you. So get that in your mind. they can't stand me. Number two, I want you to understand this here. Envious people will never celebrate your good news. You got to pay close attention to the people in your life that get quiet when good things happen for you. Your social media posts, they won't like it, they won't comment, but they've seen it. You testify in church, everybody else is shouting with you, but they're sitting still like they're a bump on the log. You text them good news and it takes them 4 days to respond. Whenever people are quiet when you have good news, that's a sign that they are not happy for you. And they're never going to celebrate with you. That's an envious person in your life. Recognize them. You got to learn how to say, I hear other people celebrating, but I also hear your silence when God blesses me. Recognize them and know who they are. Hey friends, Marcus Gill here. I want to take this time to thank you. Thank you for your prayers and your continual support. You know, every single day I'm able to reach millions from all around the world through social media, television, radio, our print media. However God sees fit to give me creative content, I'm able to release it and people are being blessed every single day. Listen, I want you to continue to be a Victory Life partner, or I'm thanking you in advance for becoming a Victory Life partner today. You can seed into our ministry. You can become a giver. You can be a partner financially with us to help us to continue and to expand all around the world. How do you do that? I want you to visit my website, marcusgillinternational.org. Or, of course, you can write me, send your prayer requests, your testimonies, and even your financial gifts of love. You can write me at Marcus Gill International, P.O. Box 3555, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, zip 29578. There, me and my entire team will be delighted to know that we're able to pray for you. We're rejoicing with you for what God has done in your life. And, of course, your generous financial gift of love is going to be greatly appreciated as we continue to reach the world, reminding everybody that every day of their life is a day of victory. I love you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Thanks in advance for your prayers and support. Hey friends, I've got an amazing tool for you. It's my new book called I See More Love. Now, when you get this book, I'm giving you wisdom keys on how to demonstrate love in every area of your life so that you can prosper in every area of your life. Dealing with jealous friends, envious friends, negative church members, a difficult family member, this book is going to give you the secrets on how to win in all of your relationships, whether it's romance, whether it's friendship, whether it's co-workers, even your enemies. You're going to learn how to bless them after you read this book. I want you to visit my website, marcusgill.tv, click the books link, and order a copy for you and a friend right now. Hey, guess what? When you order from my site, the good news is I'm going to give you a personalized autographed copy with your name, letting you know that I appreciate you, I love you, and I'm wishing God's blessings on you. So order my book now. Go get it. Don't wait. I See More Love. Wisdom keys on how to demonstrate love and prosper in every area of your life. Order now, and I promise it's going to bless you real good.
For your love gift of $18 or more, you will receive your personalized autographed copy of Marcus Gill's book, I See More Love. Order now online by visiting marcusgill.tv. Grab a copy for you and a friend.
You know, some of these conversations that we have about envious people are extremely difficult to have, but I know it's going to help you. The pain in these conversations is that you begin to discover certain people that you're going to have to let go of. Now, this is the good news. Whenever God removes people out of your life, He leaves an empty space available for the right people to come into your life. That's the good news. Sometimes you got to cut folks off, unfortunately. We don't like to do that, but it's facts, because there's some people that are just extremely toxic. They're toxic, they're killing us, they're killing our dream, they're killing our destiny. And you know what? It's about time that we begin to make room for the right people to come into our lives that will love us right, and then we can love them the right way too. It's not just a one-way type of thing. So I don't want you to think, oh yeah, I'm just so deserving of good people, if you're not willing to be a good friend to somebody else too. Write this down. God is going to place the right people in your life who will bless your life and not burden your life. All right, that's just one of my wisdom keys and a good point for you to remember. God is going to put people in your life who will bless your life and not burden your life. All right, now remember, I'm talking about 5 signs of envious friends. All right, 5 things to know. remember about people in your life who are envious. Now, I gave you two already. Number one, remember they don't like you, all right? It's impossible for somebody to be in your life that can't stand to see you winning and they say they like you. They like your benefits. Always keep that in mind. There are some people that come into your life that like how you can benefit them, but they really don't like you. And then number two, remember, they never celebrate your good news. Everybody else could be celebrating and rejoicing with you about your good news, but they never say anything. They don't like pictures on social media. They don't text you. Come on, somebody. You've seen that when you've had good news and everybody else has heard about it, and you got certain people that won't say anything. Pay close attention to them. All right. Now, number three, I got three more for you. So hang in there with me because this is going to bless you real good. Number three, they back off and get silent when you start having better days. All right. People who are envious of you will back off and get silent when you start having better days. For example, you're a person who has struggled all your life. Maybe you've gone through your adulthood and you struggled. Maybe you never could get a job, didn't have a vehicle to drive. Maybe you live with your parents still and people around you think that you're a little too old to be living with your parents. All right. So they count that as you're in struggle mode, and that's not so true. All right. But there are times, I've been there before where I was a little older than I thought I should have been, living at home with my mother and father, with my grandparents. And so you're in that stage sometime when you're building and you're preparing and you're dreaming. All right. So sometimes you're laying a little low until you get your breakthrough. Well, there's some people that love that about you. And as soon as you start having a come up, all right. Now, for those of you that don't know what a come up is, all right, that's kind of slang for you start doing good. All right. You start moving on up. All right. So when you start having a come up, those people that love your low season, all of a sudden they start backing off and they get silent. They call and check on you every day when you're struggling. They're always offering you help. You need a ride, you need this, you need that, because they like the feeling of being better than you. But as soon as you get your breakthrough and you start coming up, you start growing, all of a sudden they start getting quiet and they start backing off because they cannot handle your growth. And to add insult to injury, some folks get really quiet when you start having your better days because they're afraid that you're going to start doing better than them. I've been there so many times in my life. I'm just going to have a little transparent moment with you where, you can have a group of friends, your whole circle. All of us are struggling. And God gives me a breakthrough and I'm expecting that we're all going to come up because I see myself as, hey, if I can help everybody else come to another level with me, can't we all grow? We were doing this in the dumps. Now one of us got a breakthrough. So let's move on up to the palace. But I discovered that some of my closest friends would rather go to the palace with somebody else than to go with you just because you're close. That's a sign of envy. Again, we can all go to the palace. But somebody in the circle just doesn't want you to go. And that's a sign of envy. And that's a person who is most certainly a dream killer. So pay attention to the people in your life that start backing away from you, the better your life becomes. They have an issue. Because anybody who wants to celebrate your better days will stay close to you and continue to be there for you to say, hey, whatever I can do to continue to enhance your life, I'm willing to do it. After all, that's probably your attitude, right? Well, it's not fair for you to have that attitude and people around you don't have it. So pay close attention to the people who back off when you start doing good. Number four. All right, number four, it leads right into number four. That last point connects directly with point number four. Hear this, they only like you when you're beneath them. Envious people only like you when you're beneath them. Some people they just want to know that they're just one step ahead of you. They're just one level above you. If you get on their level, they no longer like you. They just got to always know that I'm doing better than you. They can only be your friend if they're better than you. They can only be in your presence if they're the show. If they're the number one stunner. That's the only way they like being in your presence because there's a pride that they have. Not that everybody can't be number one. Not that everybody can be great. They have to be the only one great. And so when you start being great, they no longer like you. Some people like you. They genuinely do like you because you're low. But as soon as you start coming up, and you are coming up, remember that now. If you feel low right now, you are coming up. This is why you're getting this warning. This video was a prophetic indication that you're probably going to face these things, and I'm warning you right now. You didn't flip the screen and you didn't get this broadcast for no reason. This is a warning that you're getting ready to shift and some great things are going to happen for you, and you need to be able to recognize the people that are around you to know if they're able to go with you to the next level or if you need to leave them right where they are as you continue to soar. Be very careful to recognize the people who only like you as long as you're beneath them. Because if they have that attitude about your glory, they are envious, and they're going to be a problem for you every time you grow. Recognize them and be quick to move on. And then, of course, number 5, I gave you 5 keys. There's so many of these that I can go on, but I don't have enough time to give you 10 or 20 or 30 of them. But I can give you 5. 5 is the number of grace. Remember, they don't like you. They don't celebrate your good news. They back off and get silent when you start having better days. They only like you as long as you're beneath them. And then number 5, people who are envious of you, they will intentionally sabotage your good news. Oh my God. How many times have I been through this? And maybe you've been through it too. You just laughed, right? Because you said, oh my God, Brother Marcus, you are telling the truth. People who are envious of you, they will sabotage your good news. All right, here's another example. Oh, I just purchased my first home. What do you think? They will find everything wrong with that new house. Oh, I like it, but I don't really like the color of your floors. Oh, this is a nice house, but your ceilings are too high. Oh, this is a beautiful home. You got a 2-car garage? You could have had 3. Are you following what I'm saying? These are the people that will see you walking on water and they will say you're only walking on water because you can't swim. Everything that they can find. Oh, you introduce a man, you done fall in love. You found Mr. Right and you introduce him to the family, but you got that one family member. Oh, he's handsome, but does he have a good job? Or you introduce your lady to the family. Oh, she's beautiful, but what kind of attitude does she have? They will always sabotage your good news. I'm going to college, got a full ride. Where you going? Such and such university. Oh, really? I would have gone to... it's just so sickening. So they will always find a way to sabotage your good news. They'll always find something wrong with something that you're happy about. These are envious people. Recognize these character traits. Recognize it. And I'm telling you now, when you recognize it and you don't ignore it, see it as a sign from the Lord that He's trying to reveal to you that you're carrying people who are burden type people. You got to let them go. You got to pray for them. But you got to move on because there's something great in store for you in your future. There's something big for you waiting for you. And there's some things that God just will not release in your life until you identify the snakes and you dismiss the snakes. Everybody can't go with you to the next level. And when you recognize the envious people in your life, remove them and position yourself for the right people to come into your life that will love you and bless your life forever. Listen, if you receive this word, I want you to thank God right now for the confirmation that you just received. I pray for you that God will reveal to you the people in your life, the good and the bad, so that you can make the necessary adjustments as you move forward. Great things are happening for you. New doors are opening for you. And I pray that God will heal you of every pain that you've experienced through heartbreaking type people. And He'll position you to have the right people in your life forever. I love you. And I want you to remember every day of your life is a day of victory. I'll see you next time. Hey friends, Marcus Gill here. I want to take this time to thank you. Thank you for your prayers and your continual support. Every single day I'm able to reach millions from all around the world through social media, television, radio, our print media. However God sees fit to give me creative content, I'm able to release it and people are being blessed every single day. Listen, I want you to continue to be a Victory Life partner, or I'm thanking you in advance for becoming a Victory Life partner today. You can seed into our ministry. You can become a giver. You can be a partner financially with us to help us to continue and to expand all around the world. How do you do that? I want you to visit my website, marcusgillinternational.org. Or, of course, you can write me, send your prayer requests, your testimonies, and even your financial gifts of love. You can write me at Marcus Gill International, P.O. Box 3555, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, zip 29578. There, me and my entire team will be delighted to know that we're able to pray for you, We're rejoicing with you for what God has done in your life. And of course, your generous financial gift of love is going to be greatly appreciated as we continue to reach the world, reminding everybody that every day of their life is a day of victory. I love you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Thanks in advance for your prayers and support. Hey friends, I've got an amazing tool for you. It's my new book called I See More Love. Now, when you get this book, I'm giving you wisdom keys on how to demonstrate love in every area of your life so that you can prosper in every area of your life. Dealing with jealous friends, envious friends, negative church members, a difficult family member, this book is going to give you the secrets on how to win in all of your relationships, whether it's romance, whether it's friendship, whether it's co-workers, even your enemies. You're going to learn how to bless them after you read this book. I want you to visit my website, marcusgill.tv, click the books link, and order a copy for you and a friend right now. Hey, guess what? When you order from my site, the good news is I'm going to give you a personalized autographed copy with your name, letting you know that I appreciate you, I love you, and I'm wishing God's blessings on you. So order my book now. Go get it. Don't wait. I See More Love. Wisdom keys on how to demonstrate love and prosper in every area of your life. Order now, and I promise it's going to bless you real good.
For your love gift of $18 or more, you will receive your personalized autographed copy of Marcus Gill's book, I See More Love. Order now online by visiting marcusgill.tv. Grab a copy for you and a friend.
Jesus moved with compassion. The multitudes were starving. They were hungry. Moved with compassion. Fed the 5,000 men, women, and children. And Jesus moved with compassion. Crossed paths with a leper. Leper was healed. And Jesus, being moved with compassion, young boy possessed with demons. In fact, there are multiple stories where there were people who were demon possessed. But Jesus, not being moved with judgment, but being moved with compassion, delivered the evil spirits out of those who were struggling. And Jesus moved with compassion. Every time he was moved, glory to God, a miracle happened. Let me tell you something. If you have testified, and all of you raised your hand at the beginning of this message telling me, Jesus lives on the inside of me, the King lives on the inside of me, I have a relationship with the King, I know the King, that same anointing rests on you. Jesus even declared, greater works shall you do. Watch this here. So think about this. If you just decide to be moved with compassion, it is automatic, it's mandatory that a miracle is moving with you. If you decide, let's say for the rest of 2019, maybe you've been a little selfish this year, maybe you've been a little self-centered this year, maybe it's been all about you. All right, I'm doing better this year. I'm going to get myself together this year. It's all about me doing this year. I'm going to buy my first house this year. I'm going to start my business this year. I'm going to get married this year. I'm going to have my kids this year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. This year is all about me. But I challenge you to take this to thought. If you say here in the 6th month of the year that for the rest of this year, I'm going to be moved with compassion. You might not even know who you're being moved for, but just know that if you allow compassion to take over your character and take over your spirit, miracles will follow. Not just to benefit those that you are compassionate for, but if a miracle is in the space that you stand in, guess who else is going to be blessed as a part of you moving for somebody else? Because I'm a firm believer that what we make happen for others, God will make happen for us. I've learned this in my life, and I've been blessed because of it. That anything we do with pleasing God on our mind, it will never go unrewarded.
This program was made possible by the friends and partners of Marcus Gill International.